'cause I'm reckless. Yeah, I'm reckless. And I always seem to fall on the wrong side of the law, 'cause I'm reckless and I can't help my reckless ways, my reckless ways, my reckless ways, my reckless ways.
Let me say a little thing, tell you about a dream. All our friends, you and me, we were dancing in the streets. We were wild, we were free, we were making memories. I'm gonna shout, I'm gonna sing, yeah. Give you something to believe in. 1, 2, 3, let's go, let's go. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Let me show you, show you. You know that I got that soul, yeah. Show you, you know that I got that soul, yeah. I can go high as I wanna, watching me fly, 'cause I'm gonna show you that I got that soul. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, I got that soul. Oh, oh, oh. Let's go. Doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what you do. I know you can overcome, 'cause you got that soul in you. 1, 2, 3, let's go, let's go. 1, 2, 3, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, let's go, let's go. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Let me show you, show you. You know that I got that soul, yeah. Show you, you know that I got that soul, yeah. I can go high as I wanna, watching me fly, 'cause I'm gonna show you that I got that soul. Oh, oh, oh. I'm just gonna be me, yeah, I got that soul. Oh, oh, I'm just gonna be me, 'cause it's all I know. Oh, oh, I'm just gonna be me, yeah, I got that soul. Oh, oh, I'm just gonna be me, 'cause it's all I know. I got that soul. I got that soul. 1, 2, 3, let's go, let's go. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I got that soul. 1, 2, 3, let's go, let's go. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Let me show you, show you. You know that I got that soul, yeah. Show you, you know that I got that soul, yeah. Let me show you, show you. You know that I got that soul, yeah. Show you, you know that I got that soul, yeah. Let me show you. I can go high as I wanna, watching me fly, 'cause I'm gonna show you that I got that soul. Yeah, I got that soul. I got that soul.
Thanks for the sunrise, thanks for the night sky, thanks for the deepest blue in my daughter's eyes, and thanks for the weekend, thanks for a good friend, thanks for in the high life again, makes me feel alive. It's been too long since we sat down and talked this way. Life is hard, sometimes I don't know what to say. But thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, for you have been good to me. You have been good. You have been good. For you have been good to me. You have been good. You are always good. Now I miss how the world seemed back when I was 19. Maybe I just miss having things all figured out. 'Cause now I got doubts and I got these questions, things I just don't understand. but I bet you'll sort it out. It's been too long since we sat down and talked this way. Life is hard, sometimes I don't know what to say.
It's been a long time running down a dead end road. I was looking for something that could fill my soul. Never found what I was searching for. It's been a long time running from a messed up past, but you can't go forward when you're looking back. I ain't looking back anymore. And he called my name, and he stole my shares, everything changed when I came running home. I'm running home, out of the dark, into his arms. No more running away, I'm running home. I'm running home. No more in the circus trying to be good enough. I'm far from perfect, I found perfect love in the arms you won't let go. Got a heart on fire, got a wind in my back. Sing hallelujah, I ain't going back. I'm running, I'll be running home. Well, he called my name, he stole my share, everything changed when I came running home. I'm running home, out of the dark, into his arms. No more running away, I'm running home. I'm running home. I'm running home. Gonna run this race to my final step. Gonna sing this song to my final breath. Let the weight of this world go. Gonna be no tears, gonna be no pain. See that smile on my Savior's face. I won't be walking, I'll be running home. Baby, call my name, they stole my share. Everything changed when I came running home. I'm running home, out of the dark, into his arms. No more running away, I'm running home. I'm running home. I'm running home. I'm running home. I'm running home.
Much, man. That's a way to kick off a service right there. All right. Well, hey, I want to take a second, introduce myself. My name is John Evans. I'm one of the pastors here on staff. Shout out to everybody tuning in online. We hope that you are cozy, got a cup of coffee. Maybe you're out by the lake, on the golf course, or just in your living room. Wherever you are, jump in the chat, say hello. There's some people there that want to just meet you there and welcome you. Well, if you're visiting with us this morning, man, thanks so much for making that decision to tune in or to be here. Our mission here at RockPointe Church is to help people heal from life's hurts. And it's awesome to be a part of a church where we all get to be a part of doing that. And if you're new and you just joined us this morning or fairly new to our church, a few things to expect. If you dropped your children off, they are in good hands in our middle school room, in our elementary room, down the hall. with the kids. They've got crafts, games, loud music, all the fun, but we've got a bunch of people here who care so much about them and want to help them grow spiritually and teach them about Jesus. If you need to leave at any point or you get called out of service, we've got a mom's room. You just can cut through the women's room to get there, take your baby in there if you need to. If you haven't noticed by now, we like it loud in here, so we've conveniently placed some earplugs in the back on the table, so help yourself to those. So thanks so much for being here. Just get cozy. You'll be here for about an hour. You're going to hear some more songs. Today's a little bit different, and we'll talk more about that in a second. In your seats, if you could locate this online, there's some people in the chats that can help you with this part of our service. This is our Connect card, and this is important. Just want to direct your attention to it. There's a lot happening on this thing. If you're new, you can let us know that you've joined us. You can share as much information as you feel comfortable there. Also, there's QR codes on this for all kinds of information. If you showed up today prepared to donate or to give or to bring your tithe or offering, there's an easy way to do that with the QR code. But if you're old school, totally cool. We've got some tables in the back with some lamps by them, some envelopes that are conveniently placed there for you to do that. But it is through your giving and through your generosity that mobilizes our mission of helping people heal from life's hurts. And I can just say it is awesome to see what happens through your generosity and faithfulness through our church to reach our community and to, make our mission possible. More information for you. Hang tight. I want to share this with you because we've got things happening and we don't want you to miss out. And it's for everybody here in our church and in our community. One of those things, out in Liberty Hill, we're going to have a pop-up carnival. And that's going to be free for the community, for the whole family. It's June 10th, and it's going to be from 5 to 7 p.m. Out there at the park. And again, you can find all of our information at RockPointeChurch.com or on Facebook. But that is going to be a fun carnival, man. We did this last year, and everybody showed up. It was so much fun. And there's going to be food, games, inflatables, things to just hang out and enjoy the community out there together. Father's Day is coming up. Every other chair has an invite there. If you don't know about that and you want to be there, grab that invite, put it on the visor of your pickup truck, throw it on your refrigerator next to your kid's drawing so you can remember it. Or you can save that and bring it to your neighbor or somebody you work with and invite them. There's like all these church statistics that say through personal invite, it's like such a powerful way to reach those around you to be a part of what's happening. But Father's Day, we go all out. If you were here for Mother's Day, real quick, Mother's Day, that was pretty awesome, right? And mothers, it was a powerful Sunday, and we hope that you felt honored and that was a special Sunday for you. But man, we go all out for Father's Day too. So we're gonna have helicopter rides. We got a big car show happening in the parking lot. We've got things planned for the families. We've got food trucks, but here's the kicker. We're doing this in Leander and in Liberty Hill this year. So that's a big step up for us. And that's just expanding and reaching more people in our communities. And so again, grab an invite, share it with somebody, and save that date. It's gonna be a great time. And all of what we do goes to reach and to support BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse. And it's like through, again, the generosity of that event, that it's like supports the vast majority of like a big portion of their budget. And it's amazing what they do. Look them up, and it's awesome to support that. Finally, May 28th, all right? We're not gonna be in here, but we wanna challenge everybody to utilize what we're calling Proximity Sunday. All right, we talk so much about connecting with those around you, reaching your neighbors, being on mission with us. And so, in our church, we put our money where our mouth is. And so we're gonna be out next Sunday in our communities, in our homes, whatever works for you. Light a fire, throw some meat on a smoker. Okay, not the microwave, that'll be over before you know it. The smoker is like a labor of love where you get to hang out with your best friends and just enjoy the smells all day long. But set up some space where you can just hang out on a folding chair. Go sit by a lake. Lago Peeps, where you at? And just get together with your friends and do what we talk about. The best way to love people is through proximity, to reach them for Jesus. And so we're challenging everybody to do that next Sunday. Not in these chairs, but around a picnic table, around a living room, around a fire, on your terms with your friends to connect and to make it happen. All right? Told you it was a lot of information. Thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully we still got everybody online. Today's gonna look a little different, and so I'm gonna invite Adina Ramsey to come on out. Adina? And Adina's gonna let us know a little bit about what's happening today. Thanks, Adina.
Good morning, guys. How are you guys? This morning is going to look a little bit different, like John said. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you walked in, there were some photos in the lobby. And what those photos are from the Central Texas Heart Gallery. And what the Heart Gallery, their mission is to find homes for children in foster care, permanent homes, adoptive homes. And so those pictures are out there. You know, I know that some of you are thinking, well, I could take every single one of those kids home, because that's me. But I also know that that's not for everybody. But what I do know is that everyone can do something. And today is our Foster Care Awareness Sunday. We call it our Say Yes Initiative. We do this annually. And our Say Yes Initiative is primarily about promoting foster care and adoption and how to support those who have already said yes. This morning, we are going to hear from some of RockPointe's very own families about their heart and their experience behind foster care. And we're going to learn about some ways that we can support families right here in our community that are already in the foster care game. But before we do that, we are going to hear a few more songs from the band.
Come on, let's sing together again. Who tells the sun to rise in the morning, colors the sky with the shades of his glory, meets us with mercy and love, Jesus does. Who holds the orphan, comforts the widow, cries for injustice, feels every sorrow, carries the pain of his children, Jesus does. So we sing praise to the Father who gave us the Son, praise to the Spirit
Don't y'all just love when Scott plays the guitar? Me too. Come on, keep playing now. Jesus,
Oh, I love you.
Jesus,
My Lord and Savior.
oh Jesus,
There is freedom in
Jesus, my best friend, yeah. Oh Jesus, ooh, what a name is Jesus. There's so much power in Jesus. Oh, yeah. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
praise to the Father who gave us the Son. Praise to the Spirit who's living in us.
When I was a sinner, you saved me from who I was. Oh, y'all sing. So we sing.
Praise to the Father who gave us the Son.
Praise to the Spirit who's living in us. When I was a sinner, He saved me from who I was.
God, I know
Oh, that's what Jesus
that's done. That's what Jesus done.
all throughout my history. Your faithfulness has walked beside me. Though in a storm made a way for spring. In every season from where I'm standing, I've seen the evidence of your goodness all over my life, all over my life. I see your promises, I've seen your promises in fulfillment all over my life, all over my life. Always sing. Help me remember when I'm weak. Feel the calm but feel weak. You lead my heart to victory. You're my strength. You sing out now. You are my strength, and you always will. Sing it now. I've seen the evidence of your good all over my life, all over my life. I see your promises, Lord. I see your promises in all over my life, all over my life. 'cause the evidence is here. One more time, listen. So why should I fear? Hey, thanks for singing this morning. You're welcome to have a seat.
I am Megan Oldest. I'm the Executive Director and Administrator for Angel Heart, which is a local child placing agency. I absolutely love my job, even on the hardest days, and trust me, there are very hard days. My passion is just to see all of our kids grow, thrive, become the best versions of themselves. I love being able to walk alongside families, adoptive families. I love the connections I've made over the years and being able to maintain and see where kids go. Every kiddo is so different depending on their age and their experience. It's definitely traumatic. A lot of times law enforcement's involved with removal. So if we can think about our kids just already being taken from who's their safe person, their mom or their dad, and then adding in random strangers that they haven't met, getting in their cars, but then throwing in law enforcement aspect. And sadly though, a lot of our kids you would not know that the traumas they've been through because they haven't been in safe environments. For kids, even at very young ages, they are taught what's not safe, and to have a safe person in their life changes their life. I look at these parents as heroes, and they just look at themselves as fulfilling a calling, whether it's God's calling or just their desire to be parents. I wish that they saw every day the hero aspect, because they truly are incredible people. Currently, in March of 2023, there were over 3,000 children just in the local Central Texas area that have been removed from their homes. I get calls every day for placements, and even just within the past probably 2 to 3 weeks alone, there's been upwards of 10 children that are under the age of 2 and 3 that have had to sleep in the office for a night or two while they search for a foster home for them. The love that these kids need, again, is heartbreaking. And while it's not an easy walk in the park, and I will be the first to say that there's so many hoops that you have to jump through to become a foster parent, at the end of the day, being able to take in and help children heal, I just can't. It's what keeps me going in this field. I can't think of something more rewarding than watching kids grow and heal and thrive and be grateful and become who they're meant to be and who they were created to be, than signing up to do this and to say yes and open your hearts and your home to children that need that.
We have a group of RockPointe families who have all given their time, their hearts, the dedication to the foster care and adoptive system. All of these all these parents represent families that have walked through the foster care system and ultimately adopted kids. And so what we're going to do today is we're just going to talk a little bit about kind of what their journey looked like, what they would say to somebody who was thinking about fostering, and most importantly, what you can do to help with the situation. Because one of the things we deeply believe around here is that everybody can't do everything, but everybody can do something. And so we're going to get started right away. And I'm going to just start asking these guys a couple of questions. And every one of us has a different journey into foster care, whether it's the people sitting on the stage or the people that are out in our community. But if you guys could just talk a little bit about what led you to foster care, like what your foster care journey kind of looked like.
Well, I'm Mandy, and our foster care journey started in like May of 2010. But before that, we had a friend that brought a baby home through foster care. And so that was kind of our introduction to seeing that. And during that time, we watched them care for her, and we became aware of the need in our community for foster and adoptive parents. And so it actually took us 3 years to decide to do it because we had all of the concerns that everyone has, but we decided to say yes and to give it a try.
My name is Sarah, and my foster care journey started in 2009. Really, I think mine started in high school when I knew that I would want to help raise a child that was not biologically mine. So I think I always had that desire in my heart, but the rest of my family maybe didn't realize that. So they got on board in 2009, and that's when we started. But it was our journey was that we were foster only. We were going to offer temporary homes. We were going to love children through a season, and then we would be those people that could return them to their biological family or their family of origin, or we would be that middle point for them to move on to adoption. And at some point that changed when we started taking teenagers. So we decided we were going to be a permanent placement for some of our kids. So started a long time ago, and the rest of my family had to get on board.
I'm Michael. My wife Stephanie and I started our fostering journey after being married for about 6 months. And we were not looking for it. We were looking for a purpose in our marriage. We knew we got brought together for a reason. Stephanie was a teacher. In 2009, there were no teaching jobs. Kind of hard to remember. That was not very long ago, and it's a little different now. But so she was doing stuff with kids and just not finding a sense of purpose in it. We met on a mission trip. I was sure we were supposed to go overseas and do mission work. And so we were praying about it. We had a trip scheduled. And as we were kind of leading up to that over those months, she has a family member, an aunt, who was in a bad situation with her own kids. And so she went to go help and ended up filing some CPS reports on a family member after that. And she's like, we should get ready if those kids get removed. So I said, okay, well, let's get ready. And we got certified to foster through the state. Those kids never got removed, but the need was literally in our backyard. And so we said yes to that, and kind of had two parallel paths going at the same time of like, I was like, yeah, we're going overseas and doing mission work. And then separately, God was like, yeah, but you're also going to go get certified. And the opportunity to go do like a vision trip to go see if we were going to go be with a certain people group overseas changed. We didn't get to go, and the week that we were supposed to be overseas is the week we got our first placement. So was God's really cool way of saying, like, you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to be doing this is mission work too. So
well, my name's Adam, and I got surprised by my wife with a conversation about foster care, and it was a no for me, dog, big time. So I want to apologize to all the men who are at church this morning. You're going to get in your car, you're going to go to lunch, and your wife's going to say, hey, I want to do that thing that we're talking about. Call me. I will cry with you. But yeah, so it all started from a conversation, and it was just no. You know, my wife has supported my dreams for years. And so I felt like God was saying it's time to support hers. And at some point, it's become my dream too.
So one of the things that I noticed about all of you guys that are very particular to this situation is that you guys were foster parents and adopted. You're years like past that. Like you're not currently like in the game, but yet each one of you has such a true like heart and dedication for foster care. And so if you can talk a little bit about like your experience in foster care and why it continues to be such a burden on your heart to continue to invest into the foster care system in some way.
Sure. So during our foster care journey, we fostered multiple placements, some singles, some sibling groups, some stayed for a very short time, some stayed for a really long time. And then we were able to adopt our youngest boys through that process. And once we finished our time in foster care, we decided to stay involved. We were volunteering. There are amazing organizations here locally that need support and need volunteers, and so we just really stayed in the community doing that. And then we have started a nonprofit that also supports that group. It's just such a big need in our community, and it just is such a big thing for us and our family.
I think I spent a lot of years knowing that there was a great need and I could fill it for a certain amount of time. And at this point in my life, I can't fill the need as a foster parent, which, listen, I just heard, was that Megan in the video? I just heard Megan say, you know, there's 2-year-olds sleeping in the office, and I was like, no, don't tell me that.
Y'all should have seen the looks on their faces backstage when they heard that. Everyone was like, no.
I'm gonna have to get licensed again. But I think my heart still breaks for the kids in care, and I know that I still have something to give, and it may be, at this point, it may not be that I can open my home. I'm in a different season of life, but that I still want to support foster families and the children that they serve. I spent a lot of time and a lot of energy learning how to help children heal, children from hard places heal, and so some of that, I feel like if I don't continue to contribute in that way, I'm not serving in what God has already given me. So that's why I'm still in this game. My heart still breaks for it. So.
Got one. The foster system's broken, and so to me, looking at it, the only way it gets less broken is if people who have something to give that show up, that say yes and can love on kids, actually do. And so it's a broken system. It's hard every day to be in a broken system. And we stopped focusing on the brokenness of the system and focused only on the people in front of us who are in that system and didn't choose to be, and say, how can we make this day better? How can we ultimately lessen the brokenness of the whole thing? So for us, it's just about like, God's in it, and making the system better is not our goal, but like every kid that's in it didn't choose it, and so let's love them as best we can.
Yeah, I think for me, it started from a place of just obedience, which is, you know, in the Bible, there's this scripture that says true religion is taking care of widows and orphans. So the most distilled version of following Jesus is looking out for those who are marginalized or, you know, who have been abandoned, neglected. So I think for me, it started taking that verse seriously, and like, I don't want to do this. I really didn't, but I'll jump into that. I think what's changed for me over the years is I've done a lot in my career so far. I've helped build things and have had a business and different things. I get to do what I love to do every week, which is sing for people. But you know, what I've learned is, you know, a couple years after I die and somebody else sings on this stage, everybody's gonna forget. You know, like these services that we do, they last and they have a purpose. But the real work we do is so much more outside of these walls. And so for me as a dude, I want to like make the punches I throw in life count. And I haven't found that so far in my career. I found that a little bit. I love what I do. But getting to raise a kid who has been in a cycle. His mom was a foster kid, and before that it was just total chaos in their family. I know that my family and I, we're stopping a cycle, and we're starting a new one with our youngest. And to me, like, that's something worth all the pain and struggle. And that's what I see that we're doing. So that is bringing me lots of purpose for my life.
Adam, I like how you kind of referenced that this is like a family thing. Like, this is what your family's doing. So each one of you have kids that have joined your family through adoption, and you have kids, biological kids as well. So what would you say are some things that have happened in your biological kids' lives, in your family? How has your family grown? What have your kids learned through your journey in foster care?
Yeah. So when we started fostering, our kids were 9, 8, and 6-ish. And, the 3 years that we were considering, they knew that this was something that we were talking about, and they were on board. They wanted to do this. But during that time, we had the concerns that most people have in this. You hear things about, what foster care looks like when you bring kids into your home. And you're kind of in that protective mode, like, how is this going to, what's going to happen? And, there were some things that we've worked through, with all of our kids. But in the end, ultimately, now my older kids are grown, they're all college age, and it has made them the people that they are. They're amazing. And they all wrote their college essay on their experience of foster care and, being siblings and being involved in that. And I would just say, it has made such a positive impact on them, with the parts that we've had to work through.
That's funny. My kids also wrote their college essays on being a foster sibling. I think I've had the great pleasure of, my kids are adults now. And in fact, my children that were adopted, most of them are adults now. So it's been a really fun experience to see my adult children and their perspective, looking back on just how their lives have changed. I've heard them, even in this week, say, fostering and adopting was just part of our life. It's who our family was, and I look at these kids who are now. I think that they are more empathetic because we fostered. I've heard from my 19-year-old in college said that people have told her that she treats them differently, and differently is in the way they're saying it is a good thing, that she looks at them and tries to understand where they're coming from and understand them culturally and understand their families. And so that piece, she said, well, I guess maybe they wanted to know why. And she said, I guess maybe it's because, I was raised in a family that we have kids from all over, and kids that have from different backgrounds, and those are my siblings now. And so I know that it's changed my kids in terms of their empathy and their understanding of the world. And, I think a concern that I've heard so many times from people that ask me about fostering is, what about exposing these your biological children to the horrible things of this world? Because that's true. We have kids that come in and they've experienced atrocities, and they've had abuse and neglect and so many hard things. And so exposing my children, there are things that I had to explain to my kids when they were very small that you don't expect to have to explain to them. And while some of that, we did it age appropriately, but that changed who they were. That changed how they saw the world, and I'm grateful for that. I didn't keep my kids in a protective shell. They needed to know that there were bad things out there, but that we were part of the solution. So my kids really worked to that. I remember my children, even in helping our kids gain some milestones, because sometimes they would come and they'd be behind developmentally, and we would do occupational therapy with the occupational therapist. And then, my daughter, who was 5, 6 at the time, I'd find her and our, child through foster care playing, and she'd be doing the same thing that she had just learned. So I think that, they've changed things. They are different people because we did this, and I would 100% say that they're better people because of it.
Yeah, so we fostered before we had our own biological kids. We've got both now, 6 months. Yeah, you're laughing. Yeah. So we kind of entered into a very weird thing that most people would call not normal, but it's all my kids have ever known. So in some ways it's great, that's wonderful. So our weird, very special brand of weird is something that they almost crave, even to this day. If there's a story about a kid, a baby, a child in the hospital, something, they're like, well, can we get them? It's hilarious words. Yes, can we get them? Every kid that's come into our home, I say God has something different he wants to teach me, but all of us, right? And so I look for that as, and we say that they're here because God wants them to be here for as long as he wants them to be here. And so that mental shaping of like, this might be forever, but also if it's not, like God's in control and we're just giving it to him, has been helpful framing for my mind and my kids' minds. We've had not one, but two very sick medical needs kids pass away in our home. And so when you think about like keeping your kids from hard things, pain, heartache, like all of the brokenness in the world, we kind of got to the other end of the spectrum and said like, you know, one way that you can introduce them to the heart in the world is just to bring it right into your home and let them know that that builds character and makes them who they are. That's not a choice that's for everybody, for sure, but we saw not only that there's kids sleeping in CPS offices, but there's kids who grow up in hospitals. And so that was the heart of kind of purpose that God gave us, and that calling comes with all of their medical stuff, but also, you know, that reality that they're here as long as God wants them, can not mean going back to their biological family or next of kin, but going to be with him. And so it's only created positive conversations through that loss, even though the loss still hurts and it's still loss. It's an opportunity to grow them, and it's a unique opportunity to get that perspective too. So plus all the things that were said, right? They play together, they learn together, they come alongside. That's just kids being kids, and it's beautiful. So
They already said it all.
Okay, they are the experts for sure. For the last question, I want you guys to answer in like one sentence. I know it's hard. In one sentence, what would you say to somebody who was on the fence about fostering?
Okay, I'm gonna let Adam start on that one.
I was still thinking.
Yeah, okay. Let's call your, look, Mike's like, give me the microphone. See?
Run
He's kidding.
to where the heart of God is. Adam already said it, but right, that's the most pure form of religion. And if you're with God, he's going to follow you there. So that doesn't have to be joining the orphans and the widows, right? The Bible gives us tons of opportunities to go and be where his heart is, and that's what we've run to. So run.
Yeah. I think what matters most in life is what we do for other people. And I think taking kids into your home and stopping a cycle, giving them a safe environment, it will blow your mind when you give a kid a safe environment how quickly they develop and get back to being fun and joyful. And they're not issue free. I mean, when you are rejected by your own mother and father, you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what was so wrong with me that they got rid of me. But somebody has to step in and say, you know, I'll take them on. And I just think that's the heart of God for sure. That was more than one sentence.
That's okay. Elevator pitch.
Elevator pitch. Well, I would say that if you're considering it, take that next step. If it's on your heart, just go find out more. It may be you find out more and you're like, I've got some other things, you know, some other ways I can give, but take that next step. See what there is out there for you, because, you know, God really, he will show you if this is for you or if it's not. I think that was true for my family. I knew it was for me. The rest of my family was not sure, but we took that next step, and that's where everybody else got on board.
I disagree with what they said. I mean, God kind of gives you like the little piece of the next thing for us. Like he didn't show us the whole picture or what it was going to look like. Yes. So I just agree. Just take the next step. You know, say yes to the next step. And then however that is for you and how you support this community.
One of the things that I would say is that I think that people think that you have to be special to be a foster parent. And while I think you guys are all very special, I think what you have to be is willing. I think you have to be willing to just what you said, is just take that next step, willing to see, you know, what is out there and what difference you can make. So if you guys will give a round of applause to these very special people. We have a very special video for you guys. Will you watch this?
I have 8 kids, which I know sounds like a scary large number, but it's not. We make it work. My kids are so amazing. I mean, they can disagree with each other, but when something goes wrong with one of them, when one of them needs help, they all show up. If anybody needs anything, they know they can come home. That means so much to me more than anything, because not all of these kids came from places where that was true. We are a family built up of people that have gone through hard things. So to know that you have support no matter what, from your siblings or from your mom, like, they know and they show up, they come home. 14 years ago, we didn't have a community. We didn't know any other people that were doing this crazy thing that we were doing. Through just desperation, we started finding our people and meeting other people that were in the same scenario, but it was still a very small group of people. We, pondered this question: what is success in foster care? We ultimately decided that success was just doing every day what we had to do in order to love those kids where they were at, and that we couldn't determine what success was for each individual case. Our kids come into foster care or become available for adoption at no fault of their own. In every situation, that child experiences loss. That primary caregiver loss is so traumatic. As a foster or adoptive parent, you're continuing to provide and show them that they are safe and they are loved. When I came out here to Charlotte Grange, I was being pulled in lots of directions and feeling like I needed some respite, in that I just needed some place and some time to fill me up. And Charlotte Grange made it just so easy to say yes. Everything was taken care of. I didn't have to think about anything. I could just come. And really felt like I had been poured into. Really feeling renewed by that. Had I gotten to do this 2 years into the game, 4 years into being a foster and adoptive parent, if I had had this opportunity earlier on in my journey, I think that I would have sustained the ability to foster longer. There are ways to support children who have come from hard places and foster parents or adoptive parents who are taking care of them. And that's where places like Charlotte Grange come in. Foster parenting, adopting, is not for everyone. It just isn't. I mean, I would love everybody to take a kid, but it isn't for everyone. However, you certainly don't have to be a foster parent, but you certainly can support somehow.
I was putting my youngest son, who we adopted, to bed this week. He was sad. So I laid beside him on the bed and we just started kind of trying to get deeper. What do you say? And at first it was because you won't let me stay up later than I want to, right? But at some point he just admitted, I'm never going to see my mom, am I? And no matter how long he's been with us and the environment he's been in our family, he just wants to get reconnected to the thing that was broken. And I can do a lot as a dad. I can meet his needs physically. I can play catch with him. I can be there for him when he makes a mistake at school. But what I can't do is repair what's broken. That's God's job. And that's what I pray for. That's what I hope for as a dad who's adopted a son. But I was thinking about being here today with you guys. We tried not to tell you all about this so you wouldn't skip church. We're going to show you here in a little bit how you can be a part of the solution, even if you're not feeling today like, I need to take a kid in. But I was thinking about being up here talking to you guys, and I was reminded this is our story. It's not my son's, it's all of us. For me, I was suffering from severe anxiety and panic attacks, and that's where I found Jesus. And he has brought me back to life. And I'm his son. I don't ever question that again. I'm not doing this life on my own anymore. He's in control. And that's your story too. If you've never crossed that line and started following Jesus, the Bible says that we were orphans. We were on our own, right? Doing our own thing, ruining our lives. And Jesus, because of his work on the cross and rising from the dead, adopted us into his family. So we're all adopted sons and daughters of God, even if we don't know it yet. That's why maybe today, if it's your first time at church, you're coming back because you know something in your heart needs to get reconnected to what's broken. And so it's with that in mind that I want to sing this song. And I would just ask you to picture yourself and these kids in that moment with the lyrics of this song. Could it really be this easy? That you love me like you say you do. I got years and years of striving, with nothing left to prove. Could it really be this simple? That your kindness changes everything. It's like your grace is on a mission. Tear down my religion. You're all I really need. Hallelujah. All this time, how you love me. Oh, how you love me. Oh, hallelujah. It blows my mind how you love me. Oh, how you love me. Oh, how you love me. Could it be I'm finally seeing? Oh, that you're not who I thought you'd be. You're not mad and you're not scary. All the shame and guilt I've carried is why you died for me. Oh, hallelujah. All this time, how you love me. Oh, how you love me. Oh, hallelujah. It blows my mind how you love me. Oh, how you love me. Oh, how you love me when I'm broken. Yeah, you love me when I'm weak. When I'm all out of options, I can't bring you anything. Oh, how you love me when I'm hiding, knowing I'm not good enough. Scared to death you're gonna turn your back, knowing what I've done. How you love me when I'm broken. Yeah, you love me when I'm weak. When I'm all out of options, I can't bring you anything. Oh, how you love me when I'm hiding, knowing I'm not good enough. Scared to death you're gonna turn your back, knowing what I've done. Could it really be this easy? That you love me like you say you do. I got years and years of striving, with nothing left to prove.
that your kindness changes everything. It's like your grace is on a mission. Tear down my religion. You're all I really need.
If you could do me a favor, if you're sitting on my left, on the left side, on the outside row, if you could bend down and look underneath your chair, you're going to find some cards that look like this. And if you could just take one and start passing it down. One of the things that we believe is just what I said earlier. We believe that everybody can do something to support the foster care system and support the families that are in the foster care system. This morning I have my friend Megan on here. You might recognize her from the video. One of the things that the panel talked about was if you are even remotely thinking that foster care might be something that is in your future, or you're just like, I just feel like I might just want to take a next step. Megan is the director of Angel Heart Ministries. Is it ministries? Is that the right word? And she can help answer any of those questions. She's a part of RockPointe Church, and we are super thankful to have her around. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew who she was. If you could take this card, now that you have it, if you could go ahead and start filling it out, go ahead and put your name on it. One of the things that we have on here are several different ways. The first one says, I want to learn how to become a foster parent. Really, what we're saying is just what I just said. If you are just thinking you might want some more information, you can go ahead and check that box. The next one says, I will provide respite care. Guys, respite care is essential to foster parents. It is I read statistically that the average foster parent stays in 2 years, correct? And one of the ways that we can help those people who are already in the game is by providing respite care. The thing about respite care is it is done on your schedule. You can say yes, you can say no. It can be as little as a day up to 2 weeks. And so it's not a huge commitment. It's just hey, you know what? I might have some time for you coming up, and this is a way I want to serve these foster families. The next one on there says, I want to adopt a foster family for a month. Guys, this one is something I have had personal experience with. We had a group of people adopt us for a month, and it was the greatest thing. What they did, which it was just what they came together, they got some of their friends together, and they brought us a meal. And they said, what can we do for you? We want to do something for you and your family. How can we serve you? And they ended up painting one of my daughter's bedrooms. I mean, it was the greatest thing, and it was just an honor to be served in that way. So adopting a foster family, one of the things Megan had talked about earlier backstage was it could even be driving to go pick up some supplies that they need. So it's one of those things that if you have a little bit of time and a willing heart, it is an easy way to kind of step in and just say, guys, I know that you're busy. You've added some extra things to your life. Some bandwidth has been taken up. And so what can I do for you? And then you guys can kind of work that out. And we will help facilitate that as well. And the last one is I will donate to provide retreats for foster families through Chilhook Ranch. Mandy Sheehan was up here earlier, and her and her family are also RockPointe families, and she mentioned she had started a nonprofit because one of the things, like I said, is keeping families in the game longer is essential to continue to provide that just the high quality care for kids in foster care and to be able to take more placements. And they provide retreats in Fredericksburg for foster families and adoptive families to come and really, really be able to recharge and refresh. And so I think that is one of the great ways that you can support is donating with your time, donating with your money, or donating with your heart through foster care. Like I said, I know that everybody can do something, but not everybody can't. Everybody can do something out there. But I also want you to know that if you look through these and you're like, I'm just not at a place where I can do those, what I think would be one of the biggest honors is if you will just write your name on there and your email. and drop this up. That just says that you were committed to praying for these families and for these kids. That is something every one of us can do, and probably the biggest need is just knowing that these kids are being covered in prayer. So today, before we leave, that's what I would like to ask you. I'd like you to go ahead and finish up your card. And if you guys want to just lay the cards on the stage, if you want to lay them on the back table as you leave, we will take the cards and we will get you connected to whatever your next step is. And before you leave today, we're going to have the panel, and Megan will be out in the lobby. If you just want to stop by and say hello or ask a question, they would love for you to come and just give them a hug and say hello. RockPointe, we appreciate you guys spending your time with us, and we love you, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye. I feel like I need to add him up there.
Care anywhere. Like a river connects to the ocean, this pavement touches wherever we're going. White lines flying by, who knows what we'll find. You and me tonight. Drive, let's drive. When's the last time we dropped our things
Give me that sunshine, sunshine. Give me them good times, good times. Nothing but good vibes, good vibes. Give me that sunshine, sunshine. Every day is a new beginning. Every day is a gift to hold up high. Everyone has a way to carry. Everyone has a soul, so let it shine. Don't worry about the clouds, 'cause when the skies come out, give me that sunshine, sunshine. Give me them good times, good times. Nothing but good vibes, good vibes. Give me that sunshine, sunshine. Bring on the summertime. Bring on the summertime. I will scream from the highest mountain. I will love like there's nothing in my way. I believe in the heart inside me. I believe in the hope that conquers hate. Don't worry about the clouds, 'cause when the skies come out, give me that sunshine, sunshine. Give me them good times, good times. Nothing but good vibes, good vibes. Give me that sunshine, sunshine. Bring on the summertime. Bring on the summertime. Bring on the summertime. Don't worry about the clouds, 'cause when the skies come out, give me that sunshine, sunshine. Give me them good times, good times. Nothing but good vibes, good vibes. Give me that sunshine, sunshine. Bring on the summertime. Bring on the summertime. Bring on the summertime. Bring on the summertime.
I miss when I had superpowers. My imagination was my friend and it ran wild and free. I could waste a couple hours without a worry in the world, staring at stars out on my trampoline. I miss when Andy MacArthur was the fastest kid there ever was, and kid there was ever gonna be. Ken Griffey Jr. was a giant before parents got divorced and